I want to talk to you a little bit about Zabbix and Signal integration today. So a little bit about myself first. So I'm Nathan. I work for open source ICT solutions as a IT consultant, a Zabbix consultant, and as a Zabbix trainer. I used to work as a network engineer, but a little while back I made the switch to working full-time with monitoring after falling in love with the Zabbix product. So that's me. So a little while back, I think we've all heard about it. WhatsApp updated their privacy policy. And this made sure that a lot of people started looking for a different product for their messaging needs. Some of these products are Telegram. Another one is Signal. So Telegram has quite a big user base, according to their own sources, around 400 million active users. And Signal has around 50 million active users right now. But I think they went from like 20 million up to 50 million in just a month or so. So some of these alternatives would be great to start using now that WhatsApp updated their privacy policy, right? And we figured Signal is the one for us. We've been using Signal in our company for quite some time because it's end-to-end encrypted, and we really appreciate their privacy policy and their setup. So Signal works in a way that they are a non-profit organization and they work solely by, and Signal also has an API, and this API is gonna make sure that we can send our alerts from Zabbix to Signal so that we know what's going on with our Zabbix server, and we can see those alerts coming in on Signal. So that's gonna profit us greatly. In this whole setup, there's one small disclaimer. Signal is gonna force you to provide a phone number. And you don't want to use your own phone number because then Signal won't allow you to use the application anymore. So make sure that you have a different phone number ready to use for your Signal integration with Zabbix. To do this setup, we're gonna use Zabbix 5.2 and we're gonna run this on a CentOS 8 machine. This is how we've done it. So make sure to get those prerequisites in order. All phone numbers throughout this setup are going to be using that plus sign. This is a requirement, so make sure to use that when you are setting this up for yourself. For example, the plus 19 number here, you got to make sure to use that country calling code, right? Signal offers Signal-CLI so that we can use our Signal in combination with other products. So we can talk to the API using the Signal-CLI. We'll install the Signal-CLI to our Zabbix server and use the Signal-CLI to make sure that our messages are sent to our Signal app. So we're going to open our terminal, make sure that we have the sufficient permissions level, and we'll download the package. Simply executing 2 commands. Quite simple to just set this up, download that Signal-CLI, extract it, and make some symlinks. Very easy, very powerful. And after we have the Signal-CLI, we can start using it to register against that API. So we're gonna go to the Zabbix user on our Zabbix server, and we'll use the Signal-CLI command to register our phone number. So we'll use the run user command shown here, and the number over here in the number field will be the phone number that we are going to use for the Signal integration exclusively, not your own phone number. Within a few seconds, Signal will send you a verification code. and we can run a second command with that verification code to register and finish that setup. Quite easy, quite fast. All we've done so far, download that Signal-CLI and register our phone number. From there on out, we can send messages from the Signal-CLI terminal, so from that command using that application towards our Signal. So what you can now do is use that Signal-CLI command, set up the number. So this can be any number that you want to test against, and then test registration with the receiver. And then what you're going to end up with is going to be a test. You're going to receive a notification in your Signal application on your phone or on your desktop showing you that it's working as expected. Perfect. But then we'll get to the actual Zabbix setup. So we've prepared our Signal-CLI. We've set up and made sure that our phone number is registered. Now we have to make sure that Zabbix can do something with that. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a script for this. A lot of the times these days we use the web media type, but in this case we're going to use the script media type. So we're going to write a little script, and we'll add that script to our Zabbix alert scripts folder to make sure that we can use that in our media type further on. So we're creating this new file, Signal-SH, in the correct folder with just 2 lines of code, the bin bash and the actual Signal-CLI command. It's very easy. We give up the Signal-CLI. We specify our phone number that we're using, and we'll use 2 variables that we can use later on in our Zabbix frontend to make sure that we are sending it to the correct person. Set up the correct permissions for this script, and you should be able to use it within your Zabbix server. Now in the front end, what we're going to do is we're going to create a new media type. We're going to set up the media type like this. So we're going to set up a name for our media type. We'll specify the type script, as this is what we want to use in this case. And we'll specify our script name. So the script name here is Signal-SH, and it directly correlates to what we configured here, right? The user-lib Zabbix alert script Signal-SH. And then we'll set up 2 parameters, which is gonna correlate back to the variables we just used in the script. We're gonna put the alert message. So what do we want to send to our Signal app, and who do we want to send it to? So if you're the person receiving that, that's what this variable will be used for. Do not forget to create some message templates. You want to make sure that you get the message in the correct format. So what information would you like to get? Use those Zabbix built-in macros again over there to make sure that all that information is set up as you want, or simply use the defaults that Zabbix has already built in for you. But you have to set them up. Keep that in mind. And then next step, we can create media for our user. So at administration users, we can edit a user profile. We can go to the media tab, and we can specify our newly created media type Signal. We'll specify who we want to send it to, with the receiver being the phone number of yourself. So you are going to be the receiver of this message. So specify your own phone number here. And you can specify all of the other parameters that you would normally set up when using a Zabbix media type. When is this going to be active? What severities do we want to send? And is this going to be enabled or not? Of course, it's going to be. And if we need to, we can configure some actions. So there's already an action available, so it should work. But if we want, we can specify a new action just for Signal, set up the operation types, and make sure that this is only used for Signal by specifying the send only to Signal in the operations tab. If we want, if we have all configured, it will work for every single media type. Also the newly created Signal media type. So if you have actions set up with all, it's gonna work already. And now we can test. We set up the Signal-CLI, we set up the Zabbix frontend, everything should now work. So when we get a problem, we should be able to see a message coming in to our Signal application on the phone number we specified in our Zabbix media. So we can just wait for a problem to show up in our Zabbix frontend. Or if we want, we can create a little test for this. We can create a host, put a Zabbix trapper item type on that host, create a new trigger based on that item key, and set the last value higher than 1. It should create a problem in your front end, and you should receive a message. And it's gonna look like this. It's gonna show you in the Signal app when the problem started, what the problem name is, what host it's on, what the severity was, some operational data, and a problem ID. Or if you use a custom template, it's going to show you exactly what you configured. Actually, quite a simple implementation. It's set up 15 minutes, 30 minutes, could be done very fast. So you can have the integration set up. So to wrap this up, we're going to download our Signal-CLI. Using that Signal-CLI, we're going to register our phone number, make sure that that whole Signal-CLI is going to be working. We're going to create that alert script that's going to use our Signal-CLI to send those messages, set up Zabbix using the media types, using the user media, and making sure that our action is configured if it's not already configured using our Zabbix frontend. Test. And he says that you can now use Signal within your organization to receive problems, and you're gonna see everything that you want to see right there in the Signal application. If you need a recap of all this, or you simply want to go through the steps, this integration was built by my colleague, Brian, and he created a blog post about it. So it's the latest blog post on blog.zabbix.com. You can read back exactly how this should be configured with a little bit more in-depth information about it. So definitely check out that blog post. Yeah, let's go to the questions first.
Thank you a lot. A question from my side, since this is something that maybe we do encounter quite often on different companies, maybe even in my previous working places. So what kind of conditions do you use to reduce noise? Because at some point, if you do receive tons and tons of messages, you will just put that Signal app on silent and you'll just never ever look at it. So how do you work around that? Is it for the most critical alerts only? Do you use tags? Do you use something else? How do you make sure that only the alerts that need to get there get there?
Yeah. So going back a few slides, at the media tab for our user, we can already specify, right, if we want to receive every single severity. So for example, if you are waking up from your Signal applications or messages, you could just specify the high or disaster severity if you wanted, and only receive those types of problems from your Zabbix frontend in your Signal application. So we can use this, or of course we can use the tags, filter based on those tags for severities based on a location tag or a production tag, just giving us notifications about production servers or in a certain location, right?
Mm-hmm. And any other integrations that you maybe use that you can talk about besides Signal, something that what else are you keen on when it comes to integrations, or Signal is your go-to in your company?
Oh no, definitely not. We create a lot I've built Zabbix integrations using Telegram. So if you're a big fan of using Telegram, it's definitely possible to use that one as well, because Telegram has bots, and those bots you can use to create an integration like this as well. Or a famous one right now, Microsoft Teams, right? You can hook right into that. And I think, or I'm pretty sure that that's already integrated out of the box from.
Yes, it is. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you just have to set it up on the Microsoft Teams site, and then specify something, some stuff in the Zabbix media type for Microsoft Teams, the one that's there out of the box, and you will receive those notifications in the channels that you want. That's a very powerful one.
Mm-hmm. We have a question. So is there some way, maybe via the integration script or something like that, to somehow group the messages? So let's say if you receive an alert from 15 devices, how would you prevent your Signal chat getting spammed by 15 alerts? Would you group them somehow? Maybe you would use correlation or something like that, or how would you work around that?
Using this integration, you will just get 15 messages. So.
Okay. Mm-hmm. But I think depending on the use case, you could potentially use either correlation on or dependencies to prevent such a situation within the Zabbix itself.
Oh yeah, definitely. If you set up your Zabbix problems to be dependent on each other, it will definitely only show you the most severe problem, right? The one that's highest in your dependency. So you can definitely use the built-in tools in Zabbix to already make sure that you receive less problems, and then less problems will also be sent through your media types, right? So use the tools that Zabbix already provides you, like that correlation or like those dependencies.
All right. Thank you a lot. Moving on, I think you have a little surprise for us, right?
Yeah, definitely. So Brian and I have been working hard in the past half year to write a new book. And this book is going to be the Zabbix 5 IT Infrastructure Monitoring Cookbook that we're publishing through Pact, our publisher. And basically what we have here is a cookbook that's going to show you how to set up and work with your Zabbix server from the start. So we're going to show the installation process. We're going to show almost every type of items and how you can use those items. We'll set up discovery, and we'll even go into how to use the API, stuff like that. So it's really a start to finish kind of cookbook, around 350 pages. And yeah, it's going to be available next month. So it's already available for pre-order on Amazon, but it's going to be available for delivery next month. And yeah, to celebrate that, I wanted to give the people that are present in this meetup today the chance to win one of 2 ebook versions once the book is released. So I'll do a little drawing of the people that are present, people that have a chance to win this book. So I've prepared a little tool, and it's going to show us a name when I pick the name. So the first winner is going to be Axel Rothier. So let me write that down. Axel, you will receive the book next month from me once the release is done. And then the second winner is going to be Angel Rivero. So I hope you enjoy your ebook copy of these of our new book. And definitely, if you've read the book, we would love for you to leave an Amazon review, or so that we can read through it, see what your thoughts are, and improve some stuff even later on in hopefully a Zabbix 6 version of the book later on. But let's start with the Zabbix 5 version.
Thank you a lot. This was a really exciting ending to the meetup. Can't wait myself to take a peek in that book and see, maybe, most likely I myself can learn a thing or two from there. So I'll keep an eye out on this one. Thank you a lot, Nathan.
Thank you very much.